What's up, all you badasses? This is Derek J. It's Cop Block Radio. You're listening live this Wednesday, November 19th, 2014. Joining me, it's Dio. Dio, I said you're joining me.
Oh, yes, I am joining you. When
There
I
you
have my mic, I can join you a lot easier.
Whew, man, Dio, lay off the pot, man.
Hey.
Woo! So, yeah, some people are getting high as they're listening. Some people are getting high as they're broadcasting.
Some people are getting low as they're listening.
We do a little of both here at Cop Block Radio. You can call in. It doesn't matter if you're high or sober. 413-418-COPS. We don't screen our calls, so go ahead, call in. You can also send a Skype contact request to Cop Block Radio, and I will put you on the air. So that's it. The only qualification is a voice and an internet connection. And we want to talk to you. We want to talk about police accountability, about bringing the world to a more peaceful place through changing the incentives, taking personal responsibility for our lives and the peace and freedom that we experience here, or lack thereof. So let's get our cameras ready. Do you have a camera within arm's reach, Dio?
Of course, always. Never leave home without it. Never stay home without it.
This is a test. How long does it take you to get your camera out? I just got a new purse today, and I can already tell it's not going to work. It took me about, I don't know, what was that, 10 seconds? That was 10 seconds too long.
Yeah.
So, all right, make sure you got a good purse if you're going to be doing some cop blocking, or just grab your phone. You know, phone is a good way to broadcast. Do you have, what live streaming app are you using these days?
I generally don't use live streaming. When I do, it's Bamboozler.
All right, there you go. Cool. All right, what else is going on in the world of Cop Block and Dio? Have you been contacted by the federal government?
No, not personally, no.
Okay, that's good.
I was finally out on the exposing cop blockers page. So.
Oh yeah, can we do a screenshot of that? Where can I find that? Exposing
cop blockers.
Cop Block Facebook Dio. All right, I'm just gonna Google that and see what that turns up. Exposing Cop Block. So this is what, a group of police?
We're not exactly sure. I think there was one guy that was like sparring with Davey Vara a while back or something, and he's the one who started it, and then blah blah blah, whatever. A bunch of people joined it and stuff, and you know, and they started putting out playing cards for all of the people and stuff.
I think it's called Cop Block Exposed, and their Facebook page is facebook.com/blockingcopblock. It's pretty cool, you know. Hey, they got almost 1,000 likes.
No, this is a different one. The one I'm talking about has got 12,000 likes.
Holy moly! Okay, so they're a lot more real. Well, I'll just keep
exposing cop blockers is what it's called.
All right.
And they
I see it. Yep.
Yeah, they put out these magic cards or whatever for everybody. Like they got one for Pete and a demo. And
what's a magic card? What do you mean they've got magic?
No,
cards
like that Magic the Gathering thing. They have those cards that you play with or whatever.
Wow, it looks like they have a picture of Garrett here. With his hair all really silly.
Yeah, he's the newest one. It looks like.
And where's the one where you get made fun of?
Oh, it's probably back a bit.
Hey, there's Ian Freeman of Free Talk Live. He just wrapped up his show on LRN, and he's holding a peace sign. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why they would think this is exposing Cop Block. Like this is a bad thing. Like, oh my God, he's in a gay hat. He's wearing a rainbow pimp hat and a rainbow shirt.
If you scroll down the pictures, they have these where they put the pictures up on those cards like that. They were.
Oh no, this is like a Pokemon card. Yeah, he's got like a Pokemon card. Alcoholic ass clown. So the card for Christopher Cantwell. You didn't get one?
No, I'm pissed off. They didn't make one for me. I'm fucking pissed off now.
We got Jacob Frost, Frosty the Meth Man. That's cute. And what else we got here? This is great. I love to see cleverness. You know,
Kelly Patterson's in there. Antonio, Pete, Ademo.
That's good. Let's see if we can get some others that we recognize here. We've got. No, I don't care if haters gonna hate, but at least they're doing it creatively. At least they're producing art and making people laugh. Here's Antonio Bueller's card. Bueller's way off. Androgynous agitator to the Austin Police Department. As some of the most annoying YouTube videos ever uploaded, numerous arrests for interfering with public servant, fails to understand that the right to film police does not mean you can stand 5 feet in front of their face while they are on duty. Uses his graduation from West Point and service in the Iraq War to lend credence to his otherwise hippie views that the world would be unicorns and rainbows without the police. Fun fact, his favorite movie is Pocahontas. That's really cute. I mean, they're being funny.
I'll
At least
trade you
they're
for a Corey Watkins. I got a Corey Watkins, member of Cop Block in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, bartender at Olive Garden. As a member of Open Carry, Texas, this attention-seeking creeper won't go into a Panera Bread without an AK-47. Homeschools his children to shield them from the Illuminati. Lost in landslide when running for school board. Often seen wearing his goofy hat, presumably to cover up his terrible haircut. Claimed to fame once mocked The Daily Show. I think I got you beat.
All right, and finally, this is the last one I'm going to do for now. Maybe we can pull up some more later on in the show. But a Dumbo Freeman. This is Adam Mueller, as they say, a Damo Freeman. He's a friend of mine, and he likes to be called a Damo, co-founder of Cop Block, along with Pete Eyre. His interest is being a professional ass wipe began when he decided, quote, the man was to blame for him having been denied a permit to sell alcohol and having his real estate license revoked. What?
Yeah, man.
I have no idea about any of that history. I'll have to ask him. His many arrests include charges for wiretapping, conspiracy to distribute marijuana, refusal to submit to a blood alcohol test, multiple counts of disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. Fun fact, he has not been to a dentist since 1987. That's mean. What a jerk.
I don't think I have either.
What
so
jerk things.
Remember that when they make my card.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. Well, isn't it kind of inspiring to see haters with such creativity? I mean, they're not picking on you for what you're doing. They're just picking on you as a person. They're just saying, oh, he's got ugly teeth, or oh, he looks like Pocahontas. They're not saying a person doesn't have the right to film the police. They're not saying police should be above the law or that they're not accountable for their actions. So that's a win.
They do kind of say that too, but I mean, like, I'm Captain Free Speech, so I'm not going to be sitting here trying to tell them what to say and what not to say. They have just as much of a right to say anything they want to say as I do. So, if I can sit here and be on the radio show or, like write posts for Cop Block and stuff like that and use foul language and fuck this and everything, then they have just as much of a right to say what they have to say too. But
and I don't care.
It's when they start threatening people and advocating violence and, trying to put us in dangerous situations and trying to get us hurt. That's when I have a problem with it.
Yeah, well, these are joke playing cards. We've got some concerned chatters in the chat room who are like, oh my God, is this like Saddam Hussein's kill list deck? Like, no. This is just some creative hooligans on the internet who are being funny, pulling up ugly pictures of our friends and making fun of them. Big deal. I mean, we should all be so lucky that we have so much free time on our hands to go play games like this.
They may have in part wanted to make it seem a little bit like the Saddam Hussein cards or whatnot, but I'm not impressed. So.
I doubt it. I mean, those cards were like bicycle playing cards. They weren't Pokemon style. Now, we got another commenter from the chat who says, watch out for those exposing Cop Blocker guys. They're totally killing our ideology. I haven't seen your name pop up yet, but it's just a matter of time. Well, I don't care. I would wear it as a badge of honor. Go ahead and, make a playing card with my face on it with a really ugly picture. Shouldn't be too hard to find. I've got plenty on the internet. So, I hope that, I hope I get one.
Shit, man. You mean we've been doing wrong all this time? I give up. I quit. Derek, I'll see you later.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, man, we got some people who hate us on the internet. We should just stop doing what we're doing, Dio. Well, when we come back, we've got some news for you about Amnesty International. It's got a tool that can help you determine whether or not the government is spying on you. A cop who was arrested for murder was in court today. We've got his story and more coming up. Plus your calls. You can dial in. Take control, 413-418-COPS, or send a Skype contact request to Cop Block Radio.
On LRN
LRN.FM, we talk a lot about alternative currencies. Did you know that now you can buy gold, silver, and other precious metals with Bitcoins? LRN.FM has partnered with Amaji Metals.
Yeah,
to bring you great prices
Bitcoins.
on beautiful
Mhm.
0.999
We had a
fine
great
silver,
show today
as well
on
as gold,
Bitcoin Talk Show. We had
platinum,
Daryl
and other
W.
metals.
Perry on.
Check out their selection and
Oh
pay.
yeah.
And yeah, he's awesome. He got like most of Keen all signed up with Bitcoin. All
I
the
met a lot of
businesses.
knowledgeable guys at PorkFest about that Bitcoin stuff. It was very informative for me.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people in New Hampshire who use it on a daily basis. I bought a tie and 2 purses today with Bitcoin.
Right now, I'm kind of just like saving what I got and trying to build. I ain't got that much, so anytime you spend and you ain't got that much, it's
Yeah, I didn't really want to spend Bitcoin because I was like, I'm like, these are limited. I I don't want to have fewer of them. But on the other hand, it's a business in Keene that accepts Bitcoin. I want to reward them for being an early mover on that. So, it goes both ways.
Yeah, like I said, it was very It was very, very informative for me. I learned a lot about it and stuff, and kind of. I think maybe I have a greater appreciation. I don't know. That's a bad way to say it, but a greater appreciation for like the stock market, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I appreciate. I get that.
Yeah, like trying to buy low and sell high and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the same thing, only doing it on my own terms, sort of.
It's so cool. Like so with Bitcoin Talk Show, it's a live call-in show, like Cop Block Radio, and we had a caller from Pakistan today who is 18 years old and trades Bitcoin. So like exactly what you're talking about, like people who wear suits and ties and go to Wall Street and trade in the markets. This kid is doing it, and he's 18, and he lives in Pakistan. Basically can't interact with the rest of the world's economy, but is able to trade, buy and sell, and make himself rich in Bitcoin. I mean, it's just amazing that there are those types of possibilities exist now.
Yeah. I've been meaning to sit down and watch I watched the one documentary on it, but I've been meaning to sit down and watch some more like stuff on it and whatnot.
We talk about it today on today's episode. If you go to bitcointalkshow.com, it should have the latest episode there, or if it doesn't currently, it will soon.
All right.
And there's a 30-minute documentary that came out this week from Australia. It's great, simple documentary, only 30 minutes. You can learn basically everything there is to know about Bitcoin that the general public would want to know. And it's a great primer to get started. So where are we going to go with this in a few seconds? We got this Amnesty International has a tool that can look for surveillance and spyware on your computer or mobile device. So I want to check this out.
All right.
Cool.
So can you put the link in the message so I can see what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. No luck on getting Centurion?
I can't send the message in the chat because it's on a different computer. But if you look it up, it's called Amnesty International, and the tool is called Detekt, like as in detect, but the C is a K.
It's Amnesty International /Detekt.
Yeah.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Welcome back to Cop Block Radio, 413-418-COPS, or Skype, Cop Block Radio. We're talking about a new tool that exists to let you know if the government is spying on you. Amnesty International has developed a tool that will scan your computer or mobile device and let you know if someone is trying to spy on you. Detekt looks for surveillance spyware, some of which is used by governments that can do things like read your emails, turn on your camera, or record your keystrokes. It's designed specifically for journalists and human rights activists, but that doesn't stop anyone from using to check to see if they're being spied on. Quote, "This is the first time there's been something that's freely available for normal people to check to see if their computer's been compromised," Amnesty spokesman Harriet Garland told the Mirror Online. Governments are increasingly using dangerous and sophisticated technology to snoop on activists and journalists, according to Amnesty International's Merrick McKenzie. They use technology in a cowardly attempt to prevent abuses from being exposed. Detekt is a simple tool to let people work out if their devices are being monitored so they can take action. Quote, "It represents a strike back against governments who are using information obtained through surveillance to arbitrarily detain, illegally arrest, and even torture human rights defenders and journalists. The surveillance industry is big business and is estimated to be worth around $5 billion per year. And that figure is growing. That's remarkable. I was not aware that the surveillance industry was a $5 billion a year industry. But it does make sense. Their prime customer is likely governments and major corporations. Surveillance technologies are often developed in Europe and the USA and then sold to countries that are known to commit human rights violations. German firm Finn Fisher, for example, developed a piece of software used to snoop on Skype conversations, record microphone use, and take screenshots from photos from the device's camera. Damn, that sucks. I can't believe something so sinister exists and is in use. But of course, if you can imagine it, it could exist.
I mean, it's getting pretty sporty out there. You know, you can no longer be completely computer illiterate. You have to have some kind of knowledge about it, or else you're going to get fucked up real quick.
Yeah, in this case, the FinSpy software was used to spy on human rights lawyers and activists in Bahrain. They sound like dangerous criminals. It's a good thing the governments were spying on them. Even if you're not worried about surveillance in the UK, where many people accept that it's the status quo, you should be worried about the activists in other countries where mass surveillance could land them with a prison sentence, said Garland. The tool was developed by a German security researcher called Claudio Guarani, along with Amnesty, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Privacy International, and Digital Gesellschaft. You can download Detekt here, and they've got a link. The website is resistsurveillance.org. Resistsurveillance.org is where you can download it. It's got some more information. The website actually pretty cool looking. I'll do a screen share with you. You can see the links are nice and big and easy. They've got Detekt, is it for me? How does it work? And download. Very simple. Detekt is a free tool that scans your Windows computer for traces of known surveillance spyware used to target and monitor human rights defenders and journalists around the world. So, okay, Windows only? I'd like to know more. Is it for me? On Windows XP, I don't see anything for Mac. I'm a Mac and Linux guy. I've got Windows too, but primarily Mac and Linux. Nothing for me yet, it seems. Let's click the download page.
I'm on the verge of being computer illiterate, so I'm like, right teetering on the edge, so.
Well, apparently you can download this both on your computer and your mobile device so that you can know whether or not there's spyware on either. So that's encouraging and revealing. Technology is empowering the individual past the point that governments are able to control them. And that's a really exciting thing.
Yeah. And it's not for lack of trying, because them jerk-offs are out there trying.
Boy, ain't that the truth. Hey, speaking of one of them who's trying, this one, Rocky Ford. Have you heard about him? The man who was arrested for murder in Colorado?
Yeah, Denver, right?
Yes. Well, he was in court today. The story comes to us from copblock.org. James Ashby, employed at Rocky Ford police outfit, will be in Otero Court today, related to the second-degree murder charges he faces for the killing of 27-year-old Jack Jacques. If you're in the area, show up to make your support of justice known November 19th, 2014 at 1:30 p.m. That was today, just hours ago. Though David Randall and Eric Ross at KOAA.com reported few details on the incident, save for the norm of a paid vacation for a shooter who wears a badge. Quote, Ashby has been on administrative leave pending a CBI investigation since the shooting. What's a CBI investigation?
Don't know. A cop block investigation.
I wish. I don't think so. I have a feeling it stands for some sort of like Central Bureau internal investigation or something like that. The shootings
their version of internal affairs or whatever.
It's always some sort of internal investigation. Hey, you know what? You're right. Thanks for bringing up this complaint against an officer. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to ask all the other officers in the department if this officer was a bad man that day. And if they all agree that he wasn't, then we're just going to say, screw you. The shooting sparked protests throughout the community. The Rocky Ford Police Department has released any additional information on the shooting. Our friends at PoliceStateDaily.com disclosed that Sarah Lindenmuth said that Rocky Ford police officer, now identified as James Ashby, forced his way into her brother-in-law's residence after he came home around 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Lindenmuth said her brother-in-law, 27-year-old Jack Jacques, and the officer began yelling at each other. Quote, he was standing next to his mom, his back turned towards the officer, and then Ashby shot him twice in the back and then pepper sprayed him. They had handcuffed his fiancée for reasons I don't know why, and the mom went to call the cops, and the cop took her phone and threw it against the wall. He just showed up, she explained. No one knows why. He just showed up. It all just happened unexpectedly. So much like a rapist, he just showed up, forced his will on these people, and that's that. They don't know why. He just appeared.
Is that like Dave Chappelle used to say, they sprinkle some crack on him, they shoot him, and then they pepper spray him and make it look like they pepper sprayed him before they shot him?
That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. But also, according to another gent familiar with Ashby, this isn't the first time he's killed. Lawrence Anthony Duran made it public on Facebook that people need to be made aware. Quote, this isn't the first person Ashby has killed. He killed another young Latino in 2010 in Walsenburg, Colorado. Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully not another example of impunity given to an officer who happens to be a killer. This is Cop Block Radio. You can call in 413-418-COPS.
Call in already.
This is a national healthcare alert.
I know, we got enough people in the chat. They're all a bunch of pussies.
Well, what chat are you talking about? I'm talking about the LRN chat?
Yeah, and I'm trying to stop using that term. So I apologize to all you mild-mannered listeners out there. I'm trying to say wimps instead of pussies because, you know, that's not fair to women. It's not. They're strong, they're independent, and I shouldn't equate female genitalia with being weak because if they could take a pounding, they're anything but.
Sure. Hey, I'm gonna try to reset this connection real quick because it's been buzzing. I meant to do it last time and missed it.
Do what you got. I'm gonna pack a bowl, man.
Okay.
301-2963, 800-301-2963, 800-301-2963.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter.
I do wonder if LRM gets money for that. Like, what? Why are they? Why are they playing ads for Lil Drums?
Take 1 week in a month and devote it to family activities.
For Lil Drums, do you hear that? You hear that ad that was in the background? Like, playing a family game day. No?
Not really, no. I was trying to pay attention to what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm saying is not important. Listen to the ads. Listen to the advertisers. Hey, so we've had a cool first couple of weeks at the Porcupine Thrift Store. You heard about that?
No.
It's a thrift store that sells porcupines.
Like actual porcupine?
No. It's you know, porcupines are people who moved to New Hampshire as part of the Free State Project. So it's a porcupine-owned thrift store. And it's really cool. It's doing well. It's doing good business. And I'm having a lot of fun. I'm working there behind the register.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And, you know, helping out mostly old folks and poor people. And I include myself in that list because I do plenty of shopping there at the thrift store during my off hours.
You go work it. That's why they gave you the job. You're the best fucking customer.
That's right. They're like, well, you're always standing at the register buying stuff. Why don't you stand behind it one day?
Hey, I feel bad. We're charging this guy $1 million for this shit. Come on. Give me a job, man.
You know what was the worst part of it, Dio, is now I've been working there since the beginning, so it's not like a situation like you just described. But
I know.
I did buy 2 purses today. I priced one of them. And I was like a little upset that I priced it too high. I was like, oh, like here's this bag I want. And I put it at $10, hoping that no one else would buy it. Because I'm like, oh, I'll put it real high and then no one else will buy this. And then I can buy it. Yay. Yeah, but then I have to pay the $10 for the bag. I was like, oh, man.
Fucking thing.
I should have just hidden it or something. But lesson learned. I paid full price.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
But I got the bag that I wanted. Now I just gotta use it. Gotta make sure I use it. It's one of those small ones, like you can't fit anything in them, but they have like an advantage. You know, they stay cute and make you look sexy. You know the kind. I'm sure you carry a purse.
I got my camera bag. Yeah, I got my camera bag.
Cool. All right. Let's unmute the ads and venture back out into the wild yonder.
There we go.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Police department in Texas is breaking into cars to stop people from breaking into cars.
I saw that before.
Oh, this is the kind of headline you can only read in 2014 America. Officer Tim Kraus demonstrated how burglars can break into cars by breaking into this car. In Houston, Texas, reports thefreethoughtproject.com, police in Rosenberg are taking a proactive approach to prevent vehicle break-ins by breaking into cars. According to Rosenberg police, it's the season for theft and stealing. Burglars are always watching, waiting for that chance to make the right move, Officer Tim Kraus says to KHOU. They want easy targets, says Assistant Chief Tracy Dunn. So the solution that Rosenberg police have come up with to deal with this theft is to patrol shopping center parking lots and attempt to get inside privately owned vehicles. So I'm going to stop here, Dio. Let's just take a breath and digest what we've just read. What?
It always cracks me up when they try to break one law to enforce another one, man. That always baffled me. I used to catch the Parma Police Department out here with their motorcycle cops, and they'd be parked with the motorcycles parked on the damn sidewalks, taking radar on the street there, trying to hide behind a bush. It was really funny, man. I caught the one guy walked right up on him and just like, you know, you're breaking one law to try and enforce another one. And he's just like, have a good day, sir. He took off.
You can see all this stuff back there. It's easy for someone to smash the window and grab it. Right here, I can get my hand in and open the door. We want to stop stuff like this, as he reaches into a loaded car and opens the door, setting off the alarm. After the officers attempt to break into these vehicles, they're leaving little green report cards on how the car could have been more secure. People are spending a lot of money we earned, so we don't want it taken from us, said Jenny, a local shopper. It's nice to know they're looking out for us.
Oh, my God. This, 10, 20 years ago, nobody would have ever said anything like that. They'd have been like, what the hell?
I'm looking up a quote from Aldous Huxley. He said, "A really efficient totalitarian state would be one in which the all-powerful executive, that's the police, of political bosses and their army of managers control a population of slaves who do not have to be coerced because they love their servitude."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of when I hear a woman say, "Oh, it's nice that they're looking out for us by breaking into our cars and setting off our alarms. Boy, isn't that nice. I just love to lick the boots that serve me."
Have you noticed the I don't know if it's I guess it depends on how you get pulled over and stuff like that, but like when I was still driving, I noticed a trend that was started. When they would pull you, you're supposed to pull over to the right, right? So they would pull you over and you would pull over to the right, but that would put your left driver's side out in traffic. So they stopped wanting to walk up to the driver's side and be put in between the car and traffic and started walking up to the passenger side. Well, not all cars have automatic windows, right? So they try to get you to open the window and you're like, I can't, or whatever. If you have a malfunctioning window or something like that, you're like, I can't. The first thing they do is try the door. It's like, I mean, isn't that breaking and entering? It's like, hey, buddy, close my fucking door. You know?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I can't figure this whole thing out. This story just gets worse. I'm reading along. If the history of the police wasn't rife with theft and constantly expanding myriad of techniques to separate the citizen from their money, one may actually think that the Rosenberg Police Department are doing some good, decent community outreach here. Unfortunately, police departments nationwide have less than perfect track records when it comes to actually looking out for the well-being of the individual. You know, one comes to mind, Dio, that we talked about just a couple of weeks ago here on Cop Block Radio, where there was a man, remind me, I think it was a state trooper who saw in Illinois, was it, that a motorcyclist had been run off the road, had some sort of accident, and was dying on the side of the road. And while this motorcyclist was dying, of course, the policeman's obligation would have been to call an emergency vehicle, get him some help, perform CPR, but he didn't do any of these things. Instead, he stole the cash out of the man's wallet and his gold crucifix.
I remember that. I remember talking about that.
So what do you think would happen if, say, this police department were to successfully break into a car that had a wad of cash on the seat? Can you say civil asset forfeiture?
I was just about to say, actually, that I'm curious to know how many thefts were reported during these operations, or if it was a big PR thing where there were cameras all over the place and stuff like that.
The theft grading system will most likely morph into one of the many novel ways the police will violate our Fourth Amendment rights. What if a police officer opens the door and smells a little marijuana?
Oh, they already have that right. The guy, you remember the guy, he had the big like monster Ford truck with the it was like wrapped with decals and stuff all completely around it, and they broke into the thing and they said they smelled marijuana. They broke into the thing. They didn't find any or anything. And then like the lieutenant who was in charge had left his number and stuff like that. And I called him up and I was talking to this lieutenant like back and forth. He's in Tampa Bay, Florida. And he was telling me that I can't remember that it's some kind of doctrine that they have from the Supreme Court that's on it.
Yeah, Dio, that's the we can do whatever the fuck we want doctrine.
That they might as well just name them all that, instead of individually naming them. But this one had a particular name. It was like the Carroll Doctrine or something like that. Yeah. And it basically said we have the right to do that.
Well, it sounds great. We've got a video of this coming up in just a moment, but it says,
I'm sorry, but it was actually if I remember correctly, it was actually because he had when I was talking to the cop on the phone, he was like, "Oh, well, you don't have the whole story and everything like that," and he was saying, look up the Carroll Doctrine and then call me back and talk to me. Well, I looked it up and I called him back and I talked to him and I was like, "This is left over from Prohibition. You're using something left over from Prohibition. You don't. This is like just a loophole practically."
Hey, it still applies. It's still the law.
Yeah, basically, that was the argument. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
what if they're going through your car and they notice a bumper sticker that they disagree with? Or what if they have an expired inspection sticker? And
Well, that's the natural progression of this stuff.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they start investigating, they start snooping around, they're going to find something they don't like, and they're going to find justification to say, now you owe me money. According to the Rosenberg police, the program is already working, as they claim to have seen a drop in vehicles being left unlocked. But this alleged drop due to people... Oh, but is this alleged drop due to people worrying about thieves? Or is it due to people worrying about police snooping through their belongings?
I'll tell you what it is for me.
You know, I don't lock my car, and I probably shouldn't say that out on public radio, but I don't care. You know, I live in a very safe place, and I drive a nice car. It's clean. It's got valuable items inside of it, and it could easily be stolen and broken into. But I choose not to because I feel like I live in the kind of place, like, I don't want to be that kind of person who has to worry. You know, I understand, like, the reason people have locks on their doors, and yeah, I lock my door at the end of the night. But when I'm just running into a store or something, I don't want to be like thinking, oh, my neighbors, the people who I live around, my fellow humans are going to break into my property and steal something from it. Like, I think that might happen every day. And so every day, every time I stop somewhere, I'm going to lock my car door. Forget about it, man. That's not the kind of life I want to live. That's not the kind of mentality I want to have.
Running when I used to run in the store.
You know, we should be able to work towards a society where we don't need to lock our doors. There are places that still exist where that's not the culture. Unfortunately, the U.S. isn't one of those places. Hey, 413-418-COPS. We want to hear from you.
Are you a political activist who does things that the
Good
government
deal,
might
man.
not
Good
like?
stuff.
Then this free
Yeah, man. I got a video of the police going through and leaving their little
Yeah.
report cards.
Yeah, I have that. I'm looking at the same thing. I'm reading it along with you. I find it a lot easier to know the stories and follow along with you when I actually am reading the same thing you're reading.
I know. I'm sorry. I should find a way to. I should just email you
Yeah,
maybe the links. Or actually, here's what I
Something like
got.
that.
Share. I can click this share button. I'm using Google Docs, and that's what I always use every time to keep my organization. So, what email address shall I invite to this doc?
Do the grateful or greater Cleveland Cop Block at Gmail.
Greater Cleveland Online. Okay.
All right. Let me see what I got here. And that's like, well, what you're going to be reading off of?
Yes.
Oh, hey, I got some. I think I got something back from Tom Zebra here. I have been stuck in court every day since last week, Thursday, and back again in the morning.
Terrible.
Chance to make it home and do anything. Okay, all right, maybe not tonight then. So, if you want, I can call out to Kristen, who was supposed to call at 11:15, or we can just hold on to her until then. It's up to you. You want to get a guest on, or you want to
let's
keep
have her.
this
Let's have her at her regular time.
All right, yeah, we can keep doing this and then talk to her for a while. Because, like I said, she's got information on the Samantha Ramsey thing, and then she's also got her son's thing. So,
Hey, I only have a little bit of this break. I better do a screen share of something. And
do me a favor, real quick. Disconnect this call, and you call me back.
Yes, sir.
And get a better connection.
You got it.
Okay.
20 acres, a lakeside cabin. Any takers for renters, buyers, and sellers too. Mark Warden is the guy for you. PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Yo.
Wow.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their
Yo.
car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Well, folks, look who came crawling back to Pennington.
That's right, Jeff Statsky. Just 4 years after leaving town to make it as a songwriter and musician on the East Coast, Mr. Hot himself, Jeff Statsky, has returned. Locals are simply stunned that Mr. Ambition himself would deign to move back to Pennington, the town he once said, quote, wasn't big enough for his music. Tuffy's Bar is even planning a welcome home party for the would-be Bob Dylan.
We got a nice cushion stool for his precious little East Coast ass.
Hey, Jeffy boy, we got the radio on. We're still waiting to hear that big song of yours. Where is it?
Local business owners say Statsky might have just as hard a time finding work here in Pennington as he did when he was trying to be a dainty little songsmith in Coolsville.
Oh, sure, I could set him up with a job, no sweat. Oh, wait, come to think of it, we don't have any openings right now for tambourine-shaking pansies who got dick slapped by the big city.
This is the
I love that.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Cop Block Radio. I'm your host, Derek J. You can call in 413-418-COPS or send a Skype contact request to Cop Block Radio. Hey, even if we're not live, it's worth sending that contact request because later on when we are, you'll see that we're online and we'll be able to interact then. So go ahead, get connected. You can also tweet at me at DerekJME or join us in the LRN.FM chat room. That is at LRN.FM. So what are we talking about, Dio? I forget.
We were talking about the police department in Texas going and trying doors. And
that's right. I got a video. Officers,
getting into cars.
They're going through cars. We got a video. Let's listen to this.
Do it up, man.
This comes from KHOU.
Shopping is about to go into overdrive, which can also mean a spike in car break-ins at shopping centers. Marcelino Benito shows us a simple but effective tactic police in Rosenberg are using to keep those thieves at bay.
It is the season for stealing, and thieves have their eyes on you.
And burglars are always watching. They're always watching for that chance to make the right move.
They want easy targets. They want unlocked cars. They want to be able to grab and go.
So Roseburg police officers
take a walk down this set of cars and check these out.
Are patrolling local shopping center parking lots, passing out report cards.
Apparently I failed.
Bright neon paper that tells you what you need to improve on so your holiday shopping spree doesn't turn into a nightmare when you get back to your car.
See, all this stuff in plain view where it's easy for somebody to come here and go, look, I can just smash this window and grab all this stuff in here. Like I can get my hand in here. I can open the door.
When shoppers get back to their cars, they find the report card on their windshields.
On these cards, I'll actually put pass.
Some pass, but a lot also fail.
We're going to make this a fail because they've still got some equipment they can actually get taken, especially this purse and that.
In 10 minutes, officers found more than 20 cars left unlocked. Even more than that, had expensive items left in plain sight.
That's bad.
Yes, no.
No one likes to
wow.
Shoppers say
this is unbelievable, man. This is seriously unbelievable.
Grading shoppers as Black Friday.
So, okay, wait. Take a look at what you're seeing on the screen here. And for those of you who are only listening to the audio, I'll describe it. There's a man in a black uniform with a pad of paper and a pen peering into someone's window through their driver's side window. Like, he obviously doesn't own this vehicle. And if you weren't wearing a badge and you didn't recognize the uniform to be that of a police officer, you'd say to yourself, who the hell's the thief?
Like, you'd be trying to call a police officer. Yeah. You seen it if it wasn't a fucking police officer.
Who's this dude who's standing in plain sight, in plain daylight, peering into other people's cars and trying to grab stuff or look around and reach his hand into the window? I mean, God, do they not see the irony of like what they're doing, trying to save people by committing the very crime that they're trying to save them from?
It's so ridiculous because it's such a I mean, they have so taken this driving as a privilege and that you must submit every time you have your driver's license on you and you take a car out on the road, that this is what the natural progression of that kind of crap is to have them, because then they're going to sit there and say, well, you know, it's because you're in a car. Your car is in a public lot. It's this, that, the other thing. It's the Carroll doctrine. It's this, that, and that. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous already. I mean, if this Carroll doctrine has been around all this time, how come we're only hearing about you guys doing this kind of shit now, right?
It's a good question. We only got 13 more seconds on this video. Let's finish it up.
Please finish it up, because it's sickening.
It seems to be from Houston, I would think, because it's KHOU. Best guess.
Yeah.
People work hard for the money, and we don't want it taken from us. It's nice to know that they're looking out for us. So that's good.
They want to pass, so this holiday season, thieves will fail. In Rosenberg, Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News.
All right,
I mean,
what do you think?
Isn't it? It's on me, right? I'm supposed to be the one to take care of my situation, right? The one to be responsible for locking my doors if I feel the need to. I'm supposed to be the one to have those kind of things. If a thief takes advantage of me, then I'm just a stupid ass, right? It's not up to it's not
supposed
the police's job to point out my stupidity to me, is it?
No. And there's a good reason for that. It's because people respond to incentives. So when you are the person who's responsible for yourself, then you have a better incentive to take care of yourself. So like if you had to pay the consequences for your purse getting stolen, then you're going to have the exact appropriate level of concern for your purse being stolen. That might not be the same for everyone. I might not care about my purse being stolen, and I leave it in my car right in plain sight, unlocked. Other people, they care about their purse not getting stolen. So we all...
Bullshit, Derek. You care about your purse getting stolen.
Well, it depends. Depends on the day. But that should be up to me. You know, there's no like pass, fail. Like we always do things exactly the same. That's Stalinist. That's like what the old Soviet Union thought about things. Like, oh, it's just black or white. You know, like, no, we have all the options in the world. Thanks, Mr. Officer Know-It-All, for breaking into my car and telling me how to run my life. No, I think I'll take personal responsibility. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You know, that's because exactly what happens next, right? You do those things and you leave your door unlocked or whatnot because you know why. Because I'm armed and I'm gonna walk up on somebody trying to break into my car and I'm gonna put a fucking cap in their ass, right?
That is why. We're getting a call, and I'm trying so hard to find out the source because I'm trying to answer your call. Okay, incoming call. Here we go. All right, it's finally accepting. Sorry for the ringing in the background. That gets really annoying for me too. Waiting for people to join this call. I don't know. I don't know if it worked out. I'm gonna leave them on the line, see if anyone starts talking. But it was from an 802 area code. Where's that from? 802 area code.
Remember, I might not be able to hear him, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, it's Vermont. That's pretty cool. Maybe we got Vermont caller. Well, try and call back, caller 413-418-COPS, or if you have Skype, that is a much preferred way to connect with the show because then you'll sound good. You know, it's good enough to get your voice out on the radio and you know, or on the internet
too.
Yeah, connecting is good, but you know, we really want to hear your message, so Skype is the best way and is my preferred method. So we've got another story about police and maybe why personal responsibility would be preferred. But the mother of two, this is the headline, 2-year-old hospitalized after police raid wrong home, threw grenade into his bedroom. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, I heard that story. We already covered that on Cop Block Radio. No, this is another one. Ventura, California. A 2-year-old boy was burned and hospitalized as police threw... No, this does sound like exactly the same one. Why was this being reported on at thefreethoughtproject.com? Is there some sort of update on that one? Wasn't the other one exactly in Oxnard, California? Or Ventura?
No, the other one was in Texas, I thought, ain't it?
Okay, we'll have to get a fact checker on that. In fact, why don't you fact check while I'm reading this article here at the freethoughtproject.com. They're saying that the parents were telling the police that there was an infant in the room, according to a lawsuit. Jose and Paulina Salinas are suing the city of Oxford Oxnard, excuse me, and its police department seeking damages for assault, battery, trespass, false imprisonment, and infliction of emotional distress. So I think that's probably it. It's that they're filing a lawsuit finally. And that's like the kind of thing I would hope to see. Some consequences, you know, people respond to incentives. So we want to see some consequences when police injure a 2-year-old so irresponsibly, when of course their line is that they're there to protect. Police broke the front windows of the home and set off 3 smoke bombs. Police then crashed through the front door with guns drawn, yelling, "Get down and put your hands on your head," with laser-mounted guns pointed at them. Paulina and Jose Salinas were handcuffed and put to their knees. Their 10-year-old daughter and 6-year-old son were shoved into a corner. As police approached one of the bedrooms, Paulina Salinas and her 2 children told the officers there was a 2-year-old in the room. Police ignored them, told them to cover their ears, and threw a smoke bomb into the room as 2-year-old Justin Salinas stood near the door. When the smoke bomb detonated, shrapnel from the blast hit Justin in the foot, causing first-degree burns and glass cuts. The 2-year-old was brought to the hospital and treated for his injuries. The incident was confirmed by a press release from the Oxnard Police Department, released shortly after the incident in April.
These are 2 separate instances there.
My God. At least there's a solution, and the solution is you. You holding a camera, you reporting, being the alternative media. We don't have to just be depressed about this type of news. We'll tell you why coming up in the second hour. This is Cop Block Radio. We'll take your calls.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was
This
to
is
move
like 2 separate
together
things.
with others who think like
I can't believe it, man.
liberty?
This one's Texas. It looks like the family of 19-month-old Bo Phone Savannah, Phone Savan, received prayers, hugs, and support from the congregation of 3 Atlanta churches on Sunday. But this happened. What is it? Phone Savan is the boy's father or something. That's the Texas story, and then you're reading from here, Paul Salinas as being this story. So that's obviously 2 different things.
Yeah, and this one hit him in the foot. The other one hit him in the face.
In the face, yeah. The other one, the Texas one, was in the face. Man. So, yeah, let me guess, they did nothing wrong, right?
Well, I haven't gotten to the bottom yet. Let's see. They're in a lawsuit, so hopefully there are some consequences for the negligent actions. Negligent at best.
Well, we don't want to assume that just because they're in a civil case that they didn't get any charges against the officers or anything like that, right? I mean, we need to make sure of that before we assume that.
I don't even know. I don't know what justice would be. Charges against the officer? That seems weak. I don't know. They don't have, like, that's not a good punishment. Not for real criminals, not for victimless criminals, and not for cops, not for anybody. Putting people in jail cells and the justice system, none of that does any good for anyone.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So, if you got charges, it's like,
it's almost like
good.
you would have to go, the charges would have to go against the whole department and try to get the whole no-knock raids. It'd have to be against the no-knock raids thing about it, not the
what
officers, really.
No, you know what the punishment should be is allow competition for your service that you claim to provide, that you're protecting us. Just allow people to choose not to send their money to your group and instead spend it however they want.
Mm-hmm.
And allow, a competing service if they want to exist. Because most police departments, they'll pay lip service to the fact that, oh yeah, you could just pay for whatever kind of defense you want. You don't need us. But no, the reality is your companies are barred from providing the service that police do.
Well, I don't see. I didn't see any like really shit go down in Detroit when I met Pete and Garrett up there. hang out with the Viper threat management guys. But the things that they were doing, just like, I mean, I was really impressed with the way it was working. The whole operation of the whole thing and stuff, and that Dale Brown guy, he was going over the techniques and the defense techniques that the firm uses and stuff. And I mean, it was just a very impressive demonstration, although nothing like really bad, life threatening happened while we were there.
Yeah, you bringing up Viper threat management makes me think I have to eat my words, because they're an example of a competing cop service. So,
Yeah,
I mean, was there some sort of...
I'm sure it depends on where you are.
Huh.
California's got different laws than fucking Michigan and all that. So,
but then again, all places have rent-a-cops.
True.
So maybe
they usually don't have like arrest powers and stuff like that. That's the caveat to that,
Yeah, but no one should have that.
The rent-a-cops usually aren't armed either.
Good. No one should have that. Or, well,
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying that's the difference. That's why you can have rent-a-cops. And
so that would be great if I can just not pay the local police and instead pay rent-a-cops. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Pay Viper threat management.
They'd probably do a pretty lousy job, but I don't care. As long as the police don't, come for me for their claiming they're protecting me. But I guess
that's one of the great things about Vipers, is that they have systems in place to be able to allow them to make like policing the community more of a community service, and that like they don't the community people, the people in the community themselves don't actually pay for it. It comes out of like they have a neighborhood, so like the neighborhood, like the homeowners association or whatnot would pay for Vipers to guard that neighborhood, and like the other things, they have a fucking speedboat that they just, when people get broken down out in the middle of the fucking channel out there, it's like to call somebody is usually cost you like an arm and a leg to get your boat stuck out of the channel. These guys go and do it for free, and they're able to do that because of what the rest of their services that they offer and charge people for. So,
are there any services from cops that you do want, that you do appreciate?
I mean, I appreciate them doing the like, when somebody breaks in and you're not here and you can't catch the person red-handed, you're not going to shoot anybody because you didn't catch them. For them to go and do all the detective work and actually find the motherfucker, that kind of shit I appreciate. But
yeah. I don't hear enough stories like that.
Because they don't do it.
I'm sure they do it.
Well, yeah, but they don't get the amount of burglaries that there are, and the amount of convictions that they actually get on the cases that they have are minimal.
Yeah, they pretty much have to have all the evidence like handed to them. Usually.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, and especially some DAs are not going to take flimsy cases and stuff like that. So even if they have the guy, that's why they have to have the evidence hand-fed.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but I can picture these film noir style detective cops who like spend their days, hitting the beat and shaking down suspects and talking to. Yeah, I mean, there must have been these. Maybe not. Maybe there's just glamorous Hollywood stuff. Hey, this is one I'm kind of interested in, even though it's kind of macabre. We've got ex-cop arrested for wife's murder years after fellow cops ruled it suicide, despite shot to back of head.
Yeah, I seen that today.
So,
are you done with the 2-year-old and the flashbacks and stuff, or you want
almost?
To keep
it's got like 2 more sentences.
All right, I keep these open, keep them both open for reference to the other one. You know what I mean? I keep them. I have the 2 different stories open.
Yeah, I have them open.
I refer to both of them.
I got it open.
Yeah.
Got a lot of chat activity, man. I like that. I like that about this show.
Mm-hmm. Are you? Do you have a different? You're not. You're talking about the LRN.
Well, also Skype. People can Skype me.
All right. Yeah, because that one Adam Liberty guy was asking.
Like, what card would you be if you were put on a playing card?
Me?
Yeah.
Ace of spades.
Ace of spades, huh?
Fucking
That's
A,
an
right?
interesting one. Because he said this person in the chat room says Ian should be the king of spades. Oh.
Well, ace can be 1 or 11.
Maybe I can be the queen. We're coming back.
You sick? For more, keep checking theonion.com.
Welcome back to Cop Block Radio. Hey, you're listening live Wednesday, November 19th, 2014 at LRN.FM. It's 11 p.m. here on the East Coast. I'm in Keene, New Hampshire, the Liberty Media capital of the world.
And I'm in Palma, Ohio.
What are you doing, Dio?
I'm just sitting here.
Keeping it real.
Yep.
And
talking on the radio.
We're talking about police, stories having to do with police and accountability, because the world is changing. The state is collapsing. And we're going to have to build something peaceful and productive in its place. Well, I'm not going to have to, but I'd like to. And it's going to take looking at the world a little bit differently and taking personal responsibility for what we see. I know I don't.
Where it begins.
Yeah, that's where it begins. This is why Dio and I film the police on a regular basis, going out. It's because we can't control what the police do, right? Dio, you can't.
Right.
You and I can't control what the police do. We can't control what anybody does. We can only control what we do.
What we do, exactly.
So, by acting the way you would want to see the world be, you can make it just a little bit better of a place. And these people, all these people who are reporting at freethoughtproject.com, copblock.org, it could be you, by the way. You can submit your own content to copblock.org via copblock.org/submit. And, you are the ones who are building this free, peaceful future that I want to see. So thank you, authors of articles, holders of cameras, editors of videos, producers of podcasts, and everyone else. Thank you. So we're continuing with this story about a 2-year-old who was hospitalized due to another police raid gone wrong. He was injured in the foot, sustained minor injuries, the statement said, and the child was transported to a local hospital where he was treated and released. After the initial horror of the raid, the family was detained for 4 hours, despite there being, quote, no resemblance of any claimant to the previous tenants at the location, according to the complaint. Wow. Police were apparently looking for an individual who lived in the house at least 4 months prior to the Salinas family, according to the report. The Salinas family is now dealing with the physical and emotional stress of this traumatic experience. They now feel that their home is a dangerous place to live and are, quote, scared to death and rattled by any noise they hear at night. Justin is afraid of the dark and of people in general, while the other 2 children, quote, suffer reoccurring nightmares and terrified of sleeping alone. Wow. So this 2-year-old, obviously not only just injured, but may suffer from, how could he not be affected for the rest of his life if this is an early traumatic childhood experience, being 2 years old and having your home raided, your family held at gunpoint, yourself injured by mysterious men in black uniforms?
Just as bad as any post-traumatic stress anybody else suffers. It's the same damn thing.
Exactly what I was thinking. It's like post-traumatic stress disorder, like what people get when they're in war.
It doesn't have to just be war. You can any kind of trauma you suffer can cause that. So it's not just that. I can feel for these people especially too, because I know this is Ventura, California, right?
Yeah.
Jose and Paulina Salinas, right? I'm going to take a venture guess and say that they're Spanish descent.
Yeah.
And being from California, I can relate. I lived in New Jersey. I had lived in Jersey City, which is a high Spanish population. It's also a very bustling type city.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little New York City out there. And there's a lot of turnover in rental apartments and rental units and stuff like that. And I was actually living in an apartment building out there and had 2 plainclothes detectives knock on the door and tell me that there was something had happened in this apartment that I was living in before I had lived there. And I remember back then I had asked them if they had a search warrant, and they said basically, "Oh, we're coming in if we want to come in."
What did you say?
I said, "Not without a fucking search warrant, you ain't." So they went down and got the superintendent of the building, who came up and talked me into letting them in for a couple of minutes.
I'm glad you were able. Wait, where did you learn that? Were you already reading sites like CopBlock, or were you?
No. I knew that they ain't just coming in my fucking house without a warrant. I mean, I knew that was the basis. You know, arrest me in the street, I'll give up, I'll surrender, I'll go quietly, but you ain't coming in my house without a warrant.
That's interesting. Why the distinction? Because it's private property versus government property?
Yeah, it's your sanctuary. They're not. That's where definitely there's no gray area. The Fourth Amendment is there. You know.
Well,
If
the
you're
Fourth
not
Amendment,
for crime or
to
anything
me,
like that, you're not supposed to be.
So let's
rated.
talk about that for a second, because the Fourth Amendment, to me, I don't care what any of the amendments are. I care about natural rights.
Well,
you know, and I just feel like as a human being, you have the natural right to not to privacy. You have the right to privacy. You get to choose what things are public, and the things that are in your house obviously are not public. So when an officer or any burglar or whoever breaks into your home against your will and violates that consent of what is being made public, then I think that's where the crime is committed, is in violating the consent. It doesn't matter what the amendments say or what people wrote on paper hundreds of years ago.
It's just an easy reference. Everybody knows it by that. You know, that's when you say Fourth Amendment, you don't have to say all that. You know, that's all.
Yeah, that's point made. I just get so irritated when it's like nails on a chalkboard when I hear references to the Constitution as defense of rights, because it's just so weak.
God damn it.
Well, it's because there's such failures at defending rights, right? Like the reason people don't know anything about rights is because of language like blah, 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 Fourth Amendment, which makes it sound so not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't have anything to do with me. That's guys in wigs and stilly socks hundreds of years ago, smoking hemp and writing on hemp. So I don't know. I just I like breaking it down about rights, because I think it's important. Hey, here's another thing about rights. It's sort of a big deal for the whole country. People are following this story out of Missouri, where the governor, Jay Nixon, apparently declared an executive order, which is making people a little uncomfortable, as it's resembling martial law.
I didn't know governors could do that. I thought that was something that was a presidential thing, that with the executive order thing.
Yeah, governors totally do that, because didn't the governor of Ohio send out the Kent State guys?
Yeah, but that's, like you said, is alerting or activating the National Guard or whatever. That's to me that's almost like two different things. I could be wrong. I'm just guessing.
Oh, activating the National Guard and declaring a state of emergency.
Power.
Two different things.
Even declaring a state of emergency and having executive power is like two different things to me.
Right. So let's back up.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about St. Louis, where we all know the city of Ferguson. There were a bunch of riots and protests, some peaceful, some violent. And in anticipation of a new, a Supreme Court ruling, or what's going on here? And
they're waiting for the to see if Darren Wilson is going to be charged with a crime.
Okay, so we're going to find out if Darren Wilson, the officer who shot Mike Brown, the young black man who it's unclear whether or not he reached for the gun or whether or not it was justified. We're going to find out. The court is going to decide whether or not to charge Darren Wilson with a crime.
Yeah, we're with you, Ferguson. We're with you. You're in our hearts. We're with you. All the guys on the ground.
Well, in anticipation of that, they've declared a state of emergency, and that's anything but peaceful. We'll talk about exactly what that means when Cop Block Radio returns. How's the sound doing? Sound okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
Good.
You reset that connection because it was ticking before, you know?
How you doing?
Fine.
Good.
Yep.
I'm eating a banana.
Is this the long break?
No, sir. We already missed the long break. We talked right through it.
You know, you're a gossip. I swear to God, you're a gossip.
I'm
girl.
a gossip. No, I just gab.
I don't know. Get me talking them the same way, shit.
We got a lot to say. I think that is one of the interesting, weird things. Like, talk radio always appealed to me. The idea of a person talking and me just listening. Like, I love doing that in the car.
Stern, so.
What's that?
I grew up with Howard Stern.
Oh yeah, me too. You know, and I wasn't allowed to listen to Howard Stern as a kid, and I was like, I don't know, I had to be in like from 3rd grade on, because my brother would listen to Howard Stern when he got dressed in the morning, like for high school, and that was a little before I got up. So I'm trying to remember. He's like 8 years older.
How old are you now?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm almost 44. So
what?
You heard me.
Damn, man. What you got? Some secret serum or something?
No, clean living.
Huh.
I smoke a lot of pot.
Yeah, it's all the pot, right? It's a preservative or something.
I swear.
That's
I don't get cancer. I don't get sick. I don't break bones.
Well,
a couple like the last month, I went head over heels on my bike almost in front of a fucking car. Walked away with a bruised chest.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
So you just built like a rock.
I guess. Knock on wood.
Right. Man, I can't wait to go back to the store. This is a great feeling. The Porcupine thrift store.
Right.
It's like, you know, tomorrow I'm gonna open at 9:30, and I'm gonna close at 8:39. So it's gonna be like a 12-hour day, and then I'm gonna do Peace News from midnight or from 10 to midnight. So it's gonna be a 14-hour day.
Damn.
And I am so freaking excited. Like, yay, I can't wait. Like, I'm seeing the clock tick and I'm doing this show. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go to sleep and wake up for tomorrow because it's going to be a full day of working at the store and then Peace News. Like, it's awesome. That's how life should be. So something's going right.
Exactly.
Something's going right if I'm excited about a long day of work.
If that's the way it is for you, then you have a rare thing there, man. Enjoy the shit out of it.
I know, I am. I'm enjoying the hell out of it because I'm thinking about, like, you know, decades and stuff. You know, 20s, you're supposed to fool around and also bust your ass a little bit, make some money. So I don't know. It's going right. It's going right.
Who said you're supposed to?
You're supposed to, because, like, I don't know, you put yourself on the scale of time. You're not supposed to do that stuff when you're 90. You know, if I was if I was to take a guess what time you're supposed to do that stuff, it's now.
Dude, I got an old lady that lives across the street from me. She was trying to do karate at 93.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. Okay. Good for her.
She was doing karate. Every time she went and did karate, she fucking broke something.
Oh, gosh.
She had to stop doing it because her mind is so, like,
wow.
Do shit, you know, and like she wants to like go dancing and stuff.
Listen to LRN.FM on
yeah. Oh my God. I love that. And the yoga people.
213-493-0309.
It's Cop Block Radio. Hey, you can connect with us by dialing in on Skype, Cop Block Radio. We're talking about the martial law declared in Missouri. What's going on there, Dio? I can't quite figure it out. Block.org. There was an incident report submitted via copblock.org/submit, and we've got a little bit of information. Maybe I can play some of these. I don't know if we've got video on this of him giving the executive order, but it's written in legalese, and I have a hard time deciphering this stuff. Dio, maybe you can break it down into. Can you break it down into plain English for me?
I ain't much better at that, and I'm not sure what you're looking at either.
Well, okay, I'm looking at copblock.org. This is one of the articles that was published today about Jay Nixon's executive order likened to martial law. So it's one. I'll just give you an example. Here's one of the things that he said. Whereas the state of Missouri will be prepared to appropriately respond to any reaction to these announcements, and whereas our citizens having the right to peacefully assemble and protest, and the state of Missouri is committed to protecting those rights. And whereas
with that whereas shit and whatnot, it's like
what's with all the whereas?
Speak English.
Yeah. Whereas our citizens and businesses must be protected from violence and damage, and whereas, and he continues blah blah blah, I further order that Unified Command may exercise operational authority in any such other jurisdictions it deems necessary to protect civil rights and ensure public safety, and that other law enforcement agencies shall assist the Unified Command when so requested, and shall cooperate with operational directives of the Unified Command.
I don't know, man. It sounds to me like he's trying to say that they can pretty much go wherever the hell they want now, huh?
Yeah, it does sort of sound like that. It sounds like he's saying any law enforcement can join up with Unified Command, whoever the hell that is, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, St. Louis County Police Department. They are the Unified Command. So it's those three things: State Highway Patrol, County Police, and the Metro Police. They're the Unified Command. And they are to protect civil rights and ensure public safety in the city of Ferguson. Well, let's see how they do.
They've got such a stunning track record so far. Let's see where they go, right?
Yeah, he continues. This order shall expire in 30 days unless extended in whole or in part by subsequent executive order. This message will self-destruct. No, it doesn't say that. But he does say that it will expire unless we grant ourselves indefinite, authority. So I think this is interesting because the whole language of his executive order, if you just read it on its face, is he talks about these limits that they have. Like, oh, well, the police are there to, what did he say? Ensure public safety and protect civil rights. Well, who can argue with that? But then he also says that they shall have command and operational control over security in the city of Ferguson relating to areas of protests, acts of civil disobedience, and conduct otherwise arising from such activities. Well, isn't that just vague enough to apply to just about anything? So he's saying, they're there to protect and keep the peace, but then he's also saying they can do whatever the hell they want and squelch protests and civil disobedience. So anyway, I just think that's worth examining as we prepare ourselves for news of future protests out of Ferguson. The police and the authorities may be the ones provoking this type of situation.
Yeah, like I said before, you guys out on the ground out there, we're with you. So just...
What do you mean we're with you? What do you mean?
For whatever my prayers are worth or whatever you want to call it, because it's not really a religion, that I just I ask the powers that be to watch over these people and make sure nobody gets hurt.
Well, yeah, I don't want anyone to be hurt either, but I don't know if my heart or anything is out with anyone out there, because I think it's a big mess. I'm still not clear where everyone stands or what's going on, and
I just, we know David Witt is out there on the ground, boots on the ground. The Canfield Watchmen are out there. I'm not sure if Jacob Crawford is still out there with them, but those guys.
So you're talking about the journalists?
Talking about everybody that we know out there that is trying to see liberty through to the end. So,
man, I don't know. I don't know what anyone's motives are out there. I really can't. I can't figure the whole thing out. I'm just staying out of it. I just want to know that the authorities who are declaring martial law, they're the bad guys, in my opinion. Everyone else, they might be bad guys too. I really can't root for most of the people on this in this story about Ferguson, because it's bad behavior all around. The rioting, the violence. People need to go home. That's been my message consistently. Go home, do something productive. Go make a video. Go read a book. Go hug your kids. Do something, but don't protest a futile. I mean, it's futile to protest in a place where there's been martial law declared, and you get yourself riddled with bullets. Anyway, let's move on to a police let a student drown in handcuffs. Here's an uplifting story coming from copblock.org. Yeah, his name is Anthony Piercy, and at least he's getting some attention, because before websites like copblock.org, we would never hear about a man like this. But his name is Anthony Piercy, and he let a student drown in handcuffs. The 20-year-old Brandon Ellingson was taken into police custody on a water patrol boat. He was handcuffed behind his back, and an improper life jacket was hastily shoved over him. The officer sped off in rough water and at over 40 miles per hour, ejecting Brandon from the boat. Upon impact with the water, the life jacket popped off, and due to being handcuffed, this poor kid sunk to the bottom, 80 feet. See, we're getting a call from an 805 area code. I wonder if that's the caller from earlier. Let's see.
I thought it was 802 earlier.
All right, we're connected. So, caller, you are on the air.
Is this me?
This is you. Is this Tom?
I can hear.
This is Dan Petrie from out here in California. How you doing?
Hey, Dan Petrie in California. I'm doing great.
Oh, I don't know if I've talked to you guys yet. I've called in a few times. It was a while back. If you remember, I was a victim of a police crime 34 years ago, and I tried to warn people back in 1980 that you had some police officers on the street who were committing crimes.
Hey, we have to step away for just a moment. Are you able to stay with us?
Oh, I am. I'm sure. I'm waiting a while to talk.
Excellent. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. This is Cop Block Radio.
Why did you move to the Shire?
Excellent. Hey, caller, are you in Oxnard?
No, I'm up here in Lompoc, California. I'm the one that has that TV show that's on YouTube, Cops with the $, hosted by Dan Petrie, where I bring on victims of police crime.
Oh, okay.
Very powerful show. It's doing very well. And on episode, I've only had 7 episodes, but I've said a lot in 7 episodes. But episode 6, I had a couple come all the way from Jennings, Missouri, which is real close to Ferguson, I guess.
Yeah.
And this was before Michael Brown was killed, and he told me that place has been bad for a very long time. And I just wanted to touch on that Michael Brown was just the straw that broke the camel's back. They've been putting up with this crap for years. This unarmed dead people being killed in the jails, and that they just had enough. It's just not just this one killing. It's
yeah.
50 years of it, man.
Hey, Dan, do me a favor. Can you call back in on this line? I'm going to disconnect from you. And can you just call right back in, 413-418-COPS?
Yeah, how long? Right now, or?
Yeah, right now. I'm gonna put you on a different computer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I heard you, Dio, that you weren't able to hear that guest. So I am going to put him on a different computer, and hopefully we'll be able to hear him better now.
Okay.
Do you hear that ringing?
I hear that. Yeah, I hear the ringing already.
Hey, Dan, you with us? Still answering.
Yeah, not hearing if it's.
Yeah, he's not answering yet.
Okay.
The sometimes the software takes a minute. It's like answering ... and it doesn't ever go through. Damn, Google. Damn. It's not answering. It's just hanging. It's just hanging on, like answering ... So
I'm trying to get Kristen then to call also. So
what do I do? Maybe I should disconnect from him, let him call back in on the other computer that was working.
I can listen to it
And
on
just
it.
listen.
If I pull my mute on the computer, I can just mute my mic and listen to it.
Do that then, and
I can't get in it.
Do that, and I'm sure he'll call back in.
All right. If not, I'm gonna try to get the. If he don't get back with us before the end of the break, I'm gonna get Kristen to call. She should have sent or Christina actually. I think she should have sent a request to Skype to Cop Block Radio.
Okay.
Christina Sorbilly Croft. I don't know if that's what she uses on Skype.
Oh, I hope he calls in. Call again. I need another computer set up here. It's only 2. Okay, here we go. We're coming back.
Speech.com. I'm Holland.
I'll try and play an ad for him.
Okay.
You can interact with other LRN listeners on our message board at
All right, here we go. He's back.
He's back.
forum.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Cop Block Radio. You can call in 413-418-COPS. On the line, we have Dan Petrie. He's the host of Cops with a $. You can learn about him. He's got an article written over at copblock.org. Plus, we've got a video we can share with you of his productions. But, Dan, you are on the line, so go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I've talked to you for a while. I've just been kind of laying back, and I've got 7 episodes done on my show, and kind of waiting for my 8th topic to see what I'm going to do. Hopefully, I have a private investigator that's been on the ground in Ferguson. Will be my next guest. Just looking to work that out. He, I'm sure, has a lot to say. He's actually interviewed both sides and seen a lot of stuff with his own eyes. So that'll probably be episode 8. But briefly, for listeners that don't know anything about me, I'm 54 years old now. When I was 20 years old, you talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. Mine's gone on for 34 freaking years. I was a victim of a police crime at 20 years old when I worked at Diablo Canyon, a nuclear power plant in San Luis Obispo, California. And as a newly married security guard, I was an eyewitness to a police crime at the plant. And I had to end up seeking FBI protection because I was going to end up like Karen Silkwood, murdered. And there was 2 attempts made on my life in the case. And I finally just sought FBI protection. And then of course, I went to the media, and no media would touch my story. It took me 25 years to find somebody in the media who would let me tell my story. And that was Mr. William Wagner of On Second Thought in Santa Maria, California. And once I told my story, which was roughly about 8 years ago now, I then just started going on a major media blitz because I was just so angry and I just had enough of being a victim and keep being victimized. You know, just they constantly just keep pounding on the victim instead of arresting criminals. What's what the police do? You know, they create victims and then they pound on the victim until either the victim just shoots himself in the fucking head, or the French, or leaves the area wherever they live. And that's what I've been told to do. I've been told I should leave because the FBI can't protect me. And when I asked the FBI, why can't you protect me? They said, well, there's just too many of you, Dan. There's thousands of you. I mean, there's literally thousands and thousands of victims of police crimes in this nation, and they can't protect everybody. So basically what happened 34 years ago, I started digging up evidence that proved I was a victim of a police crime, and I haven't stopped. I've now been digging up evidence on police misconduct and corruption for 34 years. And I decided to start my own TV show because I still can't, you know, get the mainstream media, O'Reilly, Greta, any of these people, you know, Handy. Nobody will put me on to tell what I know. So I started my own TV show, and it's C period, O period, P period, $sign period for the S. And that's on purpose because that's really all the police care about is generating money. It's either write you tickets, fraction, or they confiscate your property, or they give you a DUI, which raises your rates for insurance. And I can go on and all the money that they, you know, generate. As you know, they're called revenuers now. So that's what the $sign is for. But it gets deeper than that. These guys are actually modern day pirates, and they're going around and they're raping, pillaging, involved in legal drugs, and getting away with it because the DAs justify 99% of everything police officers do, up and into even including murder. There's at least 2 police gangs, one called the Regulators, one called the Jump Out Boys. And these are police gangs, and they can actually go around and do whatever they want. They can assassinate people. They get a tattoo, I think, when they kill people. I'm not going to investigate them too deeply because I'm sure they'll just be glad to kill me, you know. So, yeah, it's just corrupt. You know, the police are corrupt from top to bottom. They're just another gang, like everybody says. They'll never admit what I'm saying is true, but it is true. You guys know it's true. You've heard these stories before. And the general public is just a little naive yet, and they haven't figured it out. So, in my opinion, there's 2 kinds of peoples in the world. There's those who have been victimized by police crimes and those who just haven't been victimized yet, you know, and that's how victims look at life. I have a lot to say. You can go to my YouTube, Cops, hosted by Dan Petrie, episodes 2 through 7. What good is government? Dan Petrie's battle with corrupt cops is my story, done in an interview by Tiger Lily, which you guys, I'm graciously posted, which you referred to on your site, which jumped about 1,000 views, which was great, but it needs 1 million views because people need to know what they did to me, you know? So if you got any questions, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. What are your interactions like with law enforcement today?
Well, I truly believe that since I started my TV show, which was a year ago, I've been written 3 infraction tickets. So I started my show a year ago, and since I started my show, I've been written 3 infraction tickets, which is just so asinine because I've proved to the world, if you've seen my video, that I was a victim of a police crime. So why don't you guys go out and arrest all the real criminals in my case who victimized me and leave me the hell alone? No, they try to drag me into the system on these stupid ass infraction tickets. I mean, I've never even shoplifted in my life, okay? The police shouldn't be in my life at all. I don't drink. I'm not involved in illegal drugs. I don't commit crimes. You know, basically a really private person, but I'm a private person who's a victim. So I finally had to just say what they did to me, or they're just going to keep doing this crap, you know? They forced me, you know, to tell my story because I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, I was just sick of it, you know? But yeah, then the infraction tickets, I just took care of them. And then on the last infraction ticket, I raised so much hell, the cop didn't even show up to court.
Awesome.
I sent his name. So I sent his name to the Department of Justice. I sent his name to the police chief. I sent his name to the freaking mayor. I sent his name to 100 reporters all over the nation. I actually talked about it on my show. And when I went to show up for the alleged speeding ticket, he didn't show up and they just dismissed it. So I think finally, after 34 years, the police finally realized that they've been harassing a victim of a police crime for 34 years. They finally now realize they're wrong, you know, it has taken this freaking long, you know. But basically, they ruined my life. I mean, it's you know, if I persevered on, yeah, you know, real quick on episode 6, I'll talk about the Ferguson case. I have a gentleman that came all the way from Missouri to be on my show. It took him 2 years to find somebody in the media to tell what they did to his son in a jail cell. And basically, his son was murdered in a jail cell. I think it was in Jennings, Missouri, which is real close to Ferguson. And he said that area has been bad, you know, for 50 years. He said there's you know, many men, maybe hundreds of young black men have died at the hands of the police over the years. And Mike Brown, I think, was just the last one. I think they just finally said, we've had enough. Apparently what it looks like is he was giving up at the end. Yeah, he might have done some stuff wrong in the interaction with the police. We'll never know the truth. But at the end, it appears he had his hands up and he was giving up with his head down, and he was shot, you know, through the top of the head, through his jaw, out his collarbone. And I think that's what angers most people is apparently he was just saying, hey, okay, enough's enough. You shot me 6 times. I give up, you know, and the guy just really assassinated him. And that's what people are outraged. I think he gets away with it. I've tried not to talk about this case too much because it's just too hot. But apparently that's what it looks like on the surface. And, you know, without knowing all the evidence, I just think that's what people are mad about. The officer just didn't let him surrender, you know. But what happened to this guy that came out to my show was they murdered this guy's son in a jail cell. And then the guards actually made a B movie like Death Race 2000. And they brought in an actor to commit suicide on film. He ripped up some bed sheets, and he put them around his neck, and then he acted like he hung himself, and then the guards came in and cut him down, and they gave him CPR for like 30 seconds, and they said, oh, he's dead, you know. And then he showed this video to the parents, and they said, well, here's your son committing suicide, you know, really sorry, you know. And the parents said, well, there's this one problem here, you know, that ain't our son, you know. I mean, so I never heard anything like this before. I just keep digging up new stuff, you know. It's like insane. And so basically, guards can kill you and then just make a movie. You know.
We have to step away for just a moment. Dan, I've got more questions for you. Are you able to hang on?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've been doing this for 34 years. I'm lucky I'm alive, man.
Terrific. I'd like to ask you a little bit more. You're listening to Cop Block Radio.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video audio allowed in this.
No, I have work today. This is you ain't gonna make it. Wait a minute. Hey!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Unbelievable! Because you scared me. What am I being?
What's that, Dio?
I see we only got 15 minutes left. Here. Kristen is waiting to call too.
Oh, is she trying to get in?
She was waiting for me to tell her, and I told her 11:15, but no, she's late. So
are you in communication with her?
Yeah.
Is she ready to call in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We've had Dan for a whole segment. We can let Dan go.
Okay.
Okay. Well, tell her to call in.
I'll let her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
Okay. Dan, you heard that?
Yeah, I can call back next week. I got a lot to say, man. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, man. So there's, you know, it's just a lot of crap. But basically, I want people to watch my show because you're going to learn a lot. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about.
Excellent. Well, I'm watching episode 6 right now, and I'll keep it in my bookmarks to finish later.
Yeah, maybe you guys could do a show on this guy's story. That's what he's trying to do, get his story out. You know, we're gonna show you his story.
Yeah.
But I just spoke back to that area, and he says it's very scary there. I call him a lot. He says, you guys get ready to blow up. So we're kind of close in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta. I gotta let you go, Dan. Okay. Hey, Christina?
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Is there a blow dryer near you, or are you in a car?
No, actually, I'm in a pool room, actually.
Okay.
It's a big dehumidifier.
Okay. Is there any way we could cut out the background noise?
Yep, just a second. Is that better?
Yes, that is much better. Thank you very much.
No problem.
So, Dio, are you on the line with us? Oh, no, Dio is not on the line with us, so I'm going to add him to this call. We've got 30 seconds, Christina, before we go live.
Okay.
So, and then it'll be a 10-minute segment. Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hey, Dio.
Hey.
We are on the line with Christina, and we've got 15 seconds before we go live.
Hey, Christina.
Hey.
Monday through Friday, midnight to 2
Tyler,
a.m. U.S. Central Time,
Oh,
and
no.
weekends,
All right.
to 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time.
Here we go.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via the websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Cop Block Radio. You can call in 413-418-COPS or Skype Cop Block Radio. Coming up, Dio, we've got Dick of the Week, but first, a very special guest. Dio, please introduce our next guest.
Yeah, this is Christina. She is one of the admins of the. I don't know how to pronounce it. Lima or Lima Allen.
It's Lima.
Lima Allen County Cop Block in Ohio, and her son was recently involved in an incident with Lima police. And go ahead and tell us about it, Christina.
Well, Tyler was coincidentally in the wrong place at the wrong time. There was approximately 7 officers that were in the area investigating a call on a street party, I guess I want to say. And my son and his friend had shown up shortly after that party was dispersed to go to a friend's house. And they were approached by Nate Garlock, and he demanded to know what they were doing, what their names were, give me your IDs. And when my son refused, saying he wasn't doing anything wrong, he was grabbed and basically cuffed, and then the other 6 officers came around the corner and proceeded to beat the crap out of him.
He was pretty beat up. There was pictures, right? He had black eyes, bloody noses, that kind of thing.
Yes, he had a lot of facial injury. His eyeball was, just a mess. His actual eyeball it looked like it was exploded.
Mm.
He had baton marks all over him, his back. He had like these gouge scrape marks on his back.
He's a kid, right?
He's 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his alleged crime?
Standing on a porch, knocking on a door.
How did you first hear about this news?
Well, when I couldn't get a hold of him the next morning, he was supposed to meet us at our campground to go boating. And I couldn't get a hold of him, and I started to worry. And then called all of his friends, and then finally he called me. And when he told me what happened, I was in shock. I didn't believe it at first. You know, why would 7 cops beat up a 19-year-old kid? But
Is this why you got involved with Lima, Allen County Cop Law?
Yes, and mostly because I was so lost. I mean, I started Justice for Tyler, and I started, you know, being active, and then Mike Vance kind of took me under his wing and helped me along with this. So
right, Mike Vance is the admin that started Lima, Allen County Cop Law.
Yes.
He started it with Tyler's story, though.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
How has this affected your interactions with the police in your neighborhood?
I'm very cautious. Very cautious.
Have you been pulled over or anything like that since this or anything?
Not since this, no.
When you see opportunities for meeting with the Lima Police Department, for example, on their cop block, they had, or on their Facebook, they advertise a coffee with a cop event where members of the public can interact with local law enforcement. Do you ever feel like going there and meeting with them, talking about your son?
I do.
I know I do. They have them all over Ohio, and I just can't get to the one that's near here is a little too far from here for me. So it's usually out in like Euclid and out that way they do that. But I can't. I never find out about it in time to be able to make it. But I would love to.
What about you, Christina?
I would love to. But because of, I don't know, because of how I am with this and how emotional I am afraid that if I was alone and came face to face with one of them, it wouldn't be pretty. That's just honesty. So
one of the pictures featured on the Facebook page, Justice for Tyler, features an injury that looks like a pretty deep gouge in his back. And the caption is gut punch, thigh punch, LPD. This is his back. Could you explain that, please?
That is what the Lima police admitted to doing in their internal investigation.
They admitted to punching him in his gut and his thigh.
Yes, because that's protocol.
That's what they're allowed to get away with.
Yeah, that's what they admitted to.
But this appears to be his spine.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So what was your first time? You mentioned it appeared that his eyeball had exploded, and I'm seeing right here, which is his left eye, our right. It's here up on the screen for those who are watching at home from the Justice for Tyler Facebook page. What was it like your first time seeing him? Where were you? What was that interaction like?
Well, when he called me, like I said, I was at the campground. I came home immediately. We live about 35 minutes from the campground. And when I first saw him, it was shock. It was complete shock. I have never seen anybody look like that just from a regular fight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a nurse, and I have seen some pretty bad shit. And that was ridiculous.
What kind of thoughts were going through your head at this time?
My thoughts were, how could somebody do that to another person? What could Tyler have done so bad to have 7 grown men hitting him like that? And anger. I mean, every horrible emotion you can imagine is what was going through my head.
So the Facebook page is called Justice for Tyler. What would Justice for Tyler look like in your mind?
Justice to me would be accountability by those officers, transparency, just police in general learning how to treat the citizens and being respectful to them just as they demand respect.
So I'm reading here what appears to be a screenshot from an iPhone, and it's an email to, it says, regarding Tyler Paxson. An internal investigation is underway. No disciplinary actions will be taken until this investigation is complete and the facts are known to merit discipline. From the mayor David J. Berger of the city of Lima.
That's correct.
What is that email about?
I barraged him with emails of pictures of Tyler, of statements about what happened, asking him what does he intend on doing about his police force. I sent him cases of where other Lima Police Department officers have been involved in civil suits for brutality and false arrest and murder. And he basically denied knowing anything about that. He denied knowing anything about those suits. And now he ignores me. He won't even respond.
What about today? Have any disciplinary actions been taken?
Not that I know of. I think they're still working.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Don't worry, they're investigating themselves, so they'll sure to
Exactly.
be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find the justice will be done.
Well, I am concerned with what justice really would look like. You mentioned officers treating people kindly and reasonably. That's what I would hope to see too. How do we get there? One of the answers in my mind is filming the police. Do you ever film the police?
I will now. I never did in the past, but definitely.
Well, I hope I recommend personally you carry a phone around with you. If you've got a smartphone, there's a great app called Bamboozer. And before the show, Dio, the co-host, and I were talking about how that's what we use. If we don't have a regular, higher quality camera around, is you grab your phone, something, just as a helpful tip, because it's good to have an objective record of what's happening. Oh, hey, looks like we just got Mike Vance is on the line joining us. Mike from Lima County Cop Block. You're on Cop Block Radio.
Hang on just a minute, fellas. I'm trying to get this turned down here.
All right. Well, while you get that figured out, we're going to close out the show. I appreciate our guests. We didn't get to the Dick of the Week, but if you stick around at the YouTube show, you can watch. We'll do a post show for you. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next Wednesday. This has been Cop Block Radio, copblock.org. Remember, badges don't grant extra rights.
If you are successful at what you do, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, or you have a great career, you understand the concept of protecting yourself.
Unbelievable.
Protecting yourself,
What was
your family,
unbelievable?
and your assets with quality
I
term
told
life
him not to
insurance.
do that before the show. He was talking about the blue calls, and I told him, make sure you have the fucking radio turned off before you fucking try to call in.
Everyone does it. Their
And
first time.
what's he do? He calls in and has the fucking radio. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta turn this down. Well, we ain't got no more time. Sorry.
Whatever. We're doing a post show now. I'm still recording on YouTube, so we can finish this up. It's unfortunate though that him busting in his call knocked you and Christina off.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Yeah.
Live radio. We move on.
Yeah.
So let's finish up with the Dick of the Week.
Oh, you want to keep on doing it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we got a show here. We can stop doing. I'll disconnect from current, and all right, that's good. So I'm no longer on LRN, but we're still on YouTube. So there we go.
Okay.
So what's the Dick of the Week?
Where was the guy? What happened?
Free Thought Project.
Here he is. Yeah, here he is. It's Officer Williams. A couple of good old boys were driving down Highway 425 in Faraday, Louisiana, when they saw trash being thrown out of the passenger side window of a police cruiser. The two concerned citizens decided to follow the patrol car driven by Officer Lee Williams of the Faraday Police Department and let them know that they did not approve of his littering. When they confronted Williams, he became immediately confrontational, defensive, and arrogant. It don't matter to me. What's going to happen? Says Officer Williams to assert his above-the-law power, basically telling the duo that he can litter and it doesn't matter. Williams made the mistake of actually engaging further with the two men, and the situation quickly becomes hilarious. Despite Williams trying to intimidate these two men, they stand their ground, calling out the officer's hypocrisy the entire time. And then there's the video there.
No, I'm not.
I'm playing the video now. Now, unfortunately, this video suffers from vertical video syndrome. This person apparently hasn't learned how to hold a video camera.
Right there before y'all come in the
Can't make him think.
I saw your passenger roll down the window and throw out a piece of candy wrapper on the road up there, and I just want to let y'all know that ain't right. Okay. I'm worried about you because you would pull over and write a ticket on.
What I would do?
It's against the law, and you are there to uphold the law. It's against the law to do that,
We'll
sir.
do something about it.
Huh? We've already called dispatch to talk to the chief. I know it don't matter. I know it don't matter.
Talk to me about it if you already called.
Because out of respect,
If you already called, then don't talk to me.
Well, I'm just saying,
I'll
sir,
take
it ain't
care of
right. Okay. Well, that's all we wanted you to do. Is that's not right, man.
I'll take care.
That's not right. Appreciate it.
Well, how about?
But I mean, somebody shouldn't have to say something to you for you to take care of.
Well, it don't matter to me. What's gonna happen?
I guess ain't nothing gonna happen.
Okay,
Y'all think y'all above the law.
So what you talking about? Are you above the law? You running 65 and 45. Did I stop you?
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you was.
I'm running with you.
Well, you running 65 and 45, right?
So were you. You're not gonna come. You gonna come to the
So let me tell you what you do. You pull this vehicle off and get out of my face. That's what you do.
It's a public property, sir.
That's what you do. I'm not talking to you. Are you driving?
You break the law.
Are you driving?
I don't have to be driving to have my opinion. I got rights just like he does, brother. It don't matter. I'm flexing them right now.
Go do something about it.
I'm flexing my rights right now.
Go do something about it.
I ain't trying to. I'm trying to.
Okay,
That's not right,
well,
man.
you ain't trying to do nothing about
That's
it.
not right.
I said I'll take care of it. So why you still talking?
Got you. Good.
So why you still talking?
Appreciate it. I'm just saying. We just expect y'all to do the same. When you was outside the city limits, you were coming from Vidalia. To here, you wasn't inside the city limits. I was running with you.
So what is it?
If I'm speeding, you speed.
What is it? Your business.
I'm riding with you.
So what is it? What is
God gave us this earth, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be littered.
What business of it is yours?
Then God, it's not right. It's not right.
What you do. Let me tell you what you do. Get a ticket book out and write me a ticket. Thank you.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah, it's that easy.
No, it's not, sir. I used to be a police. He used to be a police officer too.
Go write me a ticket.
It is that easy.
Go write me a ticket.
You can do it. Eventually, keep doing what you keep doing, and you'll see. You'll see.
What you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do nothing.
What you gonna do?
I'm not gonna do nothing. Internal affairs, bro.
Go do what you got. Go do what you got.
I'm just saying, look, man. Just ask can I throw trash out of a police car?
Let me tell you something.
At least a police car. Come on.
Go file a complaint.
I would if it would do anything. I would.
Go file a
I
complaint.
would.
Well, if it ain't gonna do no good, then why you talking to me?
Because we waste our time.
Okay, so why are you saying something to me then?
Because you are officer of the law. We figured that we let you know.
If it's not gonna do any good, like you said, then
internal affairs won't do any good. Well, I'm just saying. I just want to make it aware.
Hold on. What is internal affairs?
This ain't a debate. We know what internal. It's the same people that you work for.
No, tell me.
Yeah, we know what it is.
Man. No, you tell me what it is.
Know what it is. I used to be police
too. What I would have done? You speaking for me?
If you
speak for me?
If you protect that badge, you signed the oath saying if you see somebody break the law. If you see somebody breaking the law, it's your job to enforce the law.
Yeah. Is it your job to enforce the law?
Yes.
If I had seen her throwing the paper,
we have the right to voice our opinion, man.
You
did because you are when to come down. Hell, it's 30 degrees outside. You had to feel the cold air.
It ain't your damn business what going on in my car. Now what? Now what? Now what you gonna do?
I'm not doing anything.
So why you still talking?
I'm just letting you know that people.
Feel free to jump in here, DL. I'm bored of these guys yapping at each other.
Well, we headed north anyway.
Why is he the dick of the week?
Because he just doesn't care that he's been busted littering.
Yeah, be a comedian. I think you missed. I think you missed it, man. I think you got.
Let me tell you what you missed. Let me tell you what you missed. Let me tell you what you missed.
I mean, I'm starting to not be able to understand now.
What you missed is you need to grow up, and then you need to learn the law. Then maybe you can say
something. Also, littering's not against the law anymore?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me.
Oh man! I told you missed it, man. Y'all be a comedian. You wasting time in the cop car. Y'all be on Comedy Central or something.
You stop me.
So, in my opinion, these guys are just playing out their like childhood. I don't know. Like they're just like, where do you learn this crap? This guy isn't. They're just talking past each other. They're not even communicating.
Yeah.
By the way, Liberty Phoenix joins us on the line for the post show. Liberty Phoenix, you're on Cop Block Radio post show.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for having me on.
Thanks for being on.
They both just seem like they have a lot of cognitive dissonance and sociopathy going on in both of them. The other two gentlemen in the vehicle both said that they were former law enforcement officers.
Yeah,
So-
but at least they're being polite about this. They're being funny and jokey and light, and the other guy's being all serious, like he's all offended and emasculated, and he's trying to justify himself, but he can't.
Well, his idea of legitimate authority is being challenged.
Yeah. Well, it sucks. It sucks to be caught doing something wrong, and he's having a hard time dealing with it, and he just keeps stumbling into more of it. It's awful that once a video camera's out and you're caught doing something wrong, I mean, just apologize for it, acknowledge it, and move on. Don't like now they're saying he's saying like, well, is littering against the law? You tell me. It's like, well, why are you even standing there having this conversation right now? Like,
He's begging for a Barbara Streisand effect.
yeah, I guess he is. That's the effect where you want something to disappear and go away, but by focusing energy on that, it makes it actually amplified and more attractive for people to focus on.
Right. It points out somewhere that you're weak and that you can be trolled.
Yeah. So what's on your mind tonight? Dick of the week or otherwise?
No, actually, next week, I guess the day before Thanksgiving, there's going to be no refusal blood draw DUI checkpoints in my county.
No
And
refusal.
I want to get no refusal blood draw checkpoints.
We're taking your blood.
Derek, he was asking me earlier about some advice on how to do it and whatnot. So how can he rally some troops together so he doesn't have to go alone?
Well, don't live in Chicago.
We
live in New Hampshire. And
Yeah.
you'll have plenty of help and support.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll have that in 4 months, but that doesn't help me from holding people here
Keep your
accountable
head down, slave.
while I'm still here.
Hey,
Can't do it.
We got a caller. Let's see if we can take him. You guys won't be able to hear this caller, unfortunately, because I wasn't able to get that worked out correctly. But let's see. Answering this call. It's from the 480 area code. Any idea where that's from? 480.
Sounds like a Pittsburgh.
You think?
I'm guessing totally.
It is Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona, the Tempe area. Oh,
nice form.
Hey, you're
Boy, was
Liberty
I
Phoenix. You're not from Phoenix though. You're from Chicago area.
Yeah.
Okay, so a blood DUI, no consent doesn't matter checkpoint. So you're thinking about going through this thing?
No, I'm thinking about going over there and cop blocking it. I want to get 2 teams, 2 groups of people, someone, downwind of it to divert people, and I want somebody
hell
there
yeah.
at the point to, keep these people accountable and make sure that they're, that they know that what they're actually doing. See if try and get an interview with some of the officers, see if they can
bag
even
that.
admit
You ain't
that
gonna
they're
get
using
that.
pure violence against people.
That sounds great, man.
You ain't gonna get that. You ain't gonna get no interview. Nobody's gonna have no comment for you. I can tell you that right off the bat. I've done enough of these fucking things to know that for sure.
I'm sure, but
How many people
I don't
do you
know,
think you can rally to go out there at night?
maybe 3 or 2. I know one of my co-hosts
Don't do
is
it,
gonna
man. Don't do it. It's not safe. You're surrounded by violent thugs.
Come on, man. He's got to show them that they can do it there too. He's got to show them they're being watched too. He's got to get.
No, man.
They got to get. They got to
watch your ass
out there.
Watch your own ass.
Your ass.
Hey, we're connected to caller from Phoenix, Arizona. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, Derek, this is Matt.
Hi, Matt. Matt who? You don't
don't
have to
tell me
give your
last
last name, but I mean, like
There,
Matt
we go.
from what? Like, you're just Matt from Phoenix? Are you a cop blocker in Phoenix?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Holding it down in
Yeah,
Phoenix.
been following you guys for a while. I haven't seen this channel before. I'm watching it live right now, or close to live. It's kind of a delay, but
Yeah, it's delayed a few seconds, but go on.
okay. All right, I don't want to interrupt. It's tough to, I guess I probably shouldn't be watching at the same time, but yeah, I was just Facebooking you about a group that I don't know if I should mention it or not, but a group of a Facebook group that's
because we don't want to do
blockers.
this. Yeah, we don't want to do the Streisand effect, right? We don't want to amplify their attention.
Have you seen any of their posts or comments or what their admin has to say about?
No, I don't pay much attention to the haters.
It's not haters, I don't think. I think it actually is family of police, or even Leos themselves that are part of this admin on that page.
Great, great. I'd rather them spend their time making Photoshop pictures and eating donuts than molesting children and withdrawing blood without people's consent. Please spend more time on your computers.
It's tough to say because they I don't know. I follow police1.com just to see what they have to say, and I think police1.com or police one on Facebook maybe focuses on like officers hurt in the line of duty and blah blah blah. But this whole thing that, like I said, the Virginia
don't cough into the
guy,
microphone.
Sorry. What's that?
I'm telling my co-hosts not to cough into the microphone. We're all listening to a show here, and you're talking. You're saying important things.
Yeah, no, and I'll try not to fart into this microphone.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nate Cox. I hate to say his name, but he had mentioned something, blah blah blah, about them exposing him and all this stuff. But reading all these comments, I've just kept my mouth shut as far as how much. They're just talking so much junk about all the guys in Keene and the whole Free State Project. I'm not quite sure where they're going with it, but their main thing is to expose cop blockers. Like, oh no, we're exposed. Like, we're not already all over Facebook and all that. But yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. That's something new that I learned. I was just arrested over the weekend. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 weekends ago. I saw an undercover cop beating up a guy at a gas station here locally in Mesa or the Phoenix area. He had mentioned so I started kind of getting irate with them exposing him and all this stuff. Reading all these comments, beating up this guy on a parking lot.
It sounds like we've got a bit of an echo, so there might be a window open of the broadcast.
Let me scoot away from my phone, my other phone that was I was watching that on.
Oh man, I thought I could hear him.
Any better?
Yeah, that is better. Thank you. Unfortunately, our co-hosts can't hear you, but please go on.
Gotcha. Real quickly, I was arrested for about 24 hours. I'm not sure if you have any insight on this either. My charges are public nuisance and obstructing a government official, and all I was doing was yelling at this undercover cop for beating this other guy up that I spent some time with in jail after I was booked into jail and everything. I'm not sure if I should seek a lawyer or do the whole not guilty thing and fight it. It's 2 misdemeanor charges. I'm not sure like what your insight or somebody else's insight that might be listening might be on that one.
That's totally a personal decision. It depends on a lot of stuff. If you're willing to do time, if that's even your goal, if that would achieve anything, no one's going to look down on you. Some of the best cop blockers have taken plea deals because like it's the world we live in. That you're more effective on the outside than on the inside. And, I've decided both ways. I've gone to jail and I've decided to plea out of jail. So, it's up to you to decide. And, yeah, definitely talk to attorneys. A lot of attorneys will talk to you for free. You probably hear that, attorneys are so expensive. Yeah, but, the upfront cost of calling them, asking them about your case, like most of them are friendly enough. They'll listen to you. And the other one are the ones who aren't. So screw them. Hey, I'm sorry this happened to you. It sounds like some bullshit catch-all charges, obstructing a government official. I mean,
And there was like, what's funny is there was like 10 other people videotaping it on their phones of this guy getting beaten up. And I happened to be the one speaking out the most about this guy getting beaten up. And as soon as they arrested me, they started confiscating phones. They were asking everybody, like, you know, did you videotape this incident? And people that said yes, they were taking their phones from them. I had said no because I didn't have my phone out. I just had my voice out and my body out, like saying like, this doesn't seem right. This guy's face, his face was like getting pretty much smeared into the concrete. And so they didn't take my phone. I had, you know, told them that, you know, I've seen this kind of stuff before, and yeah, they didn't mess with my personal stuff too much.
Matt,
but,
this kills me. This kills me to hear it. You know why? Do you know why I'm dying a little bit inside right now?
Why is that? Because you've seen it before.
It's because you didn't record it. You interacted, you got involved, and you didn't record what you were doing.
And what's funny is there was other people recording me that had told me before I was placed in handcuffs that they had caught it on tape, but I
You
didn't
don't
get their
control
name.
their video. You don't control. They only control what you have. You need to take personal responsibility for your video.
Oh no, and I've
This is
videotaped
not
cops
clear.
a number of times, but I got lucky in this instance because they were confiscating cameras or phones on the scene as evidence of this guy getting beaten up. And
You know what a
the whole,
smart person does? You take the SD card out of your phone and you stick it under your tongue. If they take your
Yeah.
video, that'll still
Or-
work. It won't destroy the SD card. At least just like a little bit. in
or
your
like you
cheek.
just said, bamboozler, you know, or live stream it. And
Yeah.
I have all those apps, but they take a while to load on my phone at least, and you know, get started up. And me and my wife pulled into this parking lot with my son on our way to see my elderly grandparents. I saw this guy getting beaten up, and I kind of just ran over to his side without even having a minute to think about, like, you know, the situation that I was in, what I should be doing, what I should be, you know, what apps I should be loading or starting up or whatever. So, you know, I understand recording, but yeah, it was too late.
I understand.
For all that.
It's a tense situation. No one knows how they're going to react, and you know, normally it's just muscle memory, you know, impulse reaction. And your impulse was to follow your heart and stop the violence from happening. I can't say that's the wrong thing to do, but also please try and make a conscious effort to make it part of your muscle memory that when you see something going on or your spidey senses are tingling, you grab for your phone and you start to live stream. It needs to happen. And because you need to be live streaming on those, nothing happened. Like, oh, it turned out this was nothing. But you get the practice of making this muscle memory. Anyway, I appreciate the calls and the thoughts tonight. You have anything else you'd like to share?
No, quick question. How do I find the station on like actually YouTube besides like the live stuff? Is there like a like a recorded thing that I can go back and look at these like older Cop Block radio shows?
Yeah, you sure can. They're all on my personal channel because you're probably watching just me on a screen with a little like moo cow earth background or something. That is just it's something I broadcast a lot of the shows that I do. I do a show earlier today called Bitcoin Talk Show, and that also airs on the same channel. So yeah, if you just go to Derek J Live, that's my YouTube channel, and you'll see all the past episodes of Cop Block Radio. An easier way to find it is just through my website, which is derekj.me, and you'll see there are different video projects. Cop Block Radio is one of them, and you just see all the past episodes of Cop Block Radio right from there. They're all chronicled there for you.
Awesome,
So
and
thanks for
I've
tuning
seen a lot of your I've seen a lot of your videos, and I appreciate all the work and
oh, cool.
You know, all the sacrifices that you've done. You're an awesome guy.
Thank you, Matt. That's very kind of you to say.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you. You as well. You're an awesome guy. Thanks for interjecting. It's not interfering. That was the word I was going to say. On behalf of peace. So you guys on the other end, Liberty Phoenix and Dio, weren't able to hear our caller Matt unless you tuned in on YouTube and listened.
That's terrible.
But he was sharing a story about. Oh damn! Now I've disconnected from these two. I'll try and get reconnected to them. But while I'm reconnecting, sorry about that, Liberty Phoenix. I dropped you and Dio accidentally. And now Dio has jumped on. Hey, Dio, sorry, I disconnected from you and Liberty Phoenix accidentally. No, I'm going to get you two back on.
All right.
But you weren't able to hear our previous caller, but he was just sharing a personal account of interjecting. I forget what the word is I'm looking for. Not interfering, but there was an officer who was beating up a person, and he stopped and screamed about it. There were other people video recording, but he wasn't video recording, and I was a little bit mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, what are we doing over here? Is this not clear already? Have we not made the rules fucking clear already?
Yeah, you record the police, man. You record the police. You record the police. You record the police. I'll say it again and again. Okay, so yeah, that's the point. Record the police because you get an objective record of what's going on in the world. I think Liberty Phoenix had something to say, but he's like, I don't know, not connecting on this call. So not much I can do about it. Liberty Phoenix, are you with us? No? All right, well then we'll probably just end it. I loved this post show. We don't always do this, but it's good to see that Matt and other people enjoy it. We still have some live viewers. So we'll call it a night for this Wednesday. Let's do it again next Wednesday, Dio.
All right, Dave.
Cheers, man. And until next time, badges don't grant extra rights.
Damn right.
Peace.
Peace.